Welcome to this webinar on managing your cash in business and in your personal life. We're going to dive into some slides in a second, but before we do that, I just want to say that the point of doing this is to help business owners really understand how to manage their cash and get some confidence with it, because there's something that Phil and I find ourselves always talking about with clients, non-clients, businesses that we help, people that want a podcast topic, all sorts of things. So managing cash is one of those big pain points that comes up in every business owner's journey. So we want to give you some tactics that everybody should be following and can really make things a lot more simple for you in your business, because if we are managing our cash from a place of confidence, usually things are a lot easier. So let's dive into it. I suppose I should introduce myself as well. If you've never come across me before, Luke Kemmies, director from Next Advisory. Phil and I run Next Advisory, a boutique advisory firm in accounting for aspirational business owners wanting to get more out of their business. So we work very closely with our clients, and our purpose is to provide life-changing advice for aspirational business owners. Right, let's jump in and take a look. So these are tactics that we think that every business owner should know, and that includes you if you're watching that, and that is me there, and that is Phil. So why are we here? Well, money is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. One of my favorite sayings. Sometimes we can just overcomplicate money, and we really don't remember that it's just a tool to help us do the things that we need to do. So just remember that as you're going through these slides and learning that money is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. And it's not what you make, it's what you keep. You often read articles out there in the paper about this company did X amount of revenue and they had this amount of revenue growth and all those types of things. And those things are great, and all these fast growth business certificates that they hand out. But can you actually keep any of that money that you are making? I'm sure if you're a business owner, you can relate to that, and you understand the saying, if it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And that's what we're trying to figure out how we can do is keep some. Before we dive too deep as well, just an interesting stat for you at the time of recording this. If you want to generate a $40,000 passive income through a term deposit right now, you need $5 million. That might be scary for some, or it might be exactly what you expected. But if you go back to 2007, you only needed 475K. Well, I shouldn't say only, but you did need less than 500,000. 2014, you needed less than $1 million, and now you need over $5 million. So this could be the most important time ever to understand money management. And even if it's not for you, well, then how about your kids? And how about those people around you? As a business owner, mastering this stuff, including money management, is very, very important. So take some ownership. Be the guardian of this. Don't blow it off and say that someone else can figure it out. Step up and be the person to break the deficiency in financial literacy in your family tree. Own that and be that person. Now, net worth, some stats from 2018, which are a little bit outdated because obviously we've had a pretty major economic event and a lot of money's gone into supply. So a lot of these statistics will have changed. But basically in 2018, there were 32,000 people who were in the red by more than $100,000. So they were in debt by more than 100 grand. 400,000 people were sitting between 100 grand of debt and zero. And there were 1.5 million people sitting between zero and having $100,000. And that's in terms of their net worth, which is their assets minus their liabilities. And there were 400,000 people between 100 and 200,000. So that just gives you a good understanding of where people sit in terms of their net worth, with some basic New Zealand statistics from 2018. I wonder if those stats would look different if people learned more about how to manage their cash. And that's what we're exactly going to be looking at today. And I'm about to show you some simple ways that you can get on top of your finances. The two main reasons that we see that people get into business: more time and more money. And really, from all the work we've done with aspirational business owners and business owners in general, is that these two things are really expressions of freedom. Entrepreneurs and business owners crave freedom. They love it. It's why they're doing what they're doing. The two main problems that we come across with the business owners that we work with, and other business owners too, is they don't have enough money available, and they don't have enough time to do the things that they want to do. Now, these two things are signs that we don't really have any freedom. So the exact reason that we got into business is not the result. So we need to do things that are going to help us get the result. The result is freedom. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is what most people do with their cash. They get cash into a bank account and it goes into one account and it ends up flowing in all different directions, and the business owner is left with nothing. Maybe you've done this, maybe you still do this. This is not what you want to do. And I'm going to show you what you do want to do that'll get you thinking about what some of the successful business owners and people that are managing their money out there are doing. But if this is you, you can diagnose yourself that you're on this slide and something needs to change. Now, often in business, money will come in from a customer or a client, and then there's 1,000 people grabbing at that money as soon as it gets into that business bank account. We need to put some better structure around that so we figure out how to use it. Let's take a look at what some people do with their cash. Introducing the tax account. Now you can see our money's still coming in, which is good. Goes into our business bank account, and then we have a tax account. Now that tax account is used for GST and income tax. And now down in that green circle, that's our business expenses. So that's the account that is left with the money that's going to cover our business expenses. Now, I can show you in the next slide a percentage that you can work to, and let's just say 20% for this example. But you want to be putting your GST aside plus a percentage of that money that comes in over into this tax account so that you are preempting the tax that you are going to have when you need to pay your tax to the IRD. So if you start with 20%, that will start to build you a nice buffer. If you start to earn higher levels of income, you'll need to speak to your accountant about moving that 20% up to perhaps 25 and 30%, depending on how well you are doing and how much profit you are dropping out. But 20% is a great place to start and will cover 80% of the people that are watching this webinar. Let's look at an example of 11,500. Now we know that that's $10,000 plus GST, right? So we've got our cash in of 11,500. It goes into our business bank account. Now what the smart people are doing is putting the GST straight into that tax account, and then they're putting their 20% in. So they're left with $8,000 in their business expenses account. Now this stops you from getting stuck here and just spending all the money that you see in that business bank account, because believe me, that is what the brain will tell you to do. Oh, great, we have money, let's spend it. That is not a smart strategy, because really, of that 11,500, you've only got $8,000 at the absolute most, perhaps even less than that, to then run your business off. So if you just mastered this part, it will help you get a lot further down the track with managing your money than probably and perhaps what you're currently doing. So just to walk you through that again, $11,500 comes in, we strip the GST straight off, goes into another account, we take 20% off of that invoice, bang, we're left with $8,000. That's the money that we've got left to play with. Now we know that we've then got money put aside for GST, and we are starting to build up a buffer for the eventual tax that we are going to have to pay. Here's what the odd person does. Now when I say odd, I don't mean strange, but maybe this is a strange concept to you, but they have this thing called the SHTF. Now, can anybody guess what that means? That means the shit hits the fan. Now, 11.5 grand goes in. There goes our 1,500 straight over to for GST. There goes our $2,000 for income tax, our 20%, and then $300, which is 3% of the invoice, gets put into a shit hits the fan account. Now, we need to start with 300 in this example because we don't have one, so we're trying to build it up, and the faster we build it up, we can stop contributing to it. So that's only going to leave $7,700 in our business expense account. But over time, our pool of shit hits the fan account will grow up, and that's what we want to bring us to a place where we can act from more confidence, and when we get with bumps in the road, we can feel more confident that, okay, I've got some money put aside for when things like this happen, and you're not as concerned about them as you would be had you not been putting that money aside. So start with either 1 to 3% and slowly build that up, and you will feel a different level of confidence when tough times come into your business. Why is this stuff important? Well, a recent survey shows that 20% of Kiwis could last just 1 week or less if they lost their job. Only 5% have enough money aside for 6 to 12 months. Nearly 60% of Kiwis have less than $500 in their savings. So what are you going to teach your children? What are you going to teach your staff? What are you going to learn yourself? What are you going to teach those people around you? Take some responsibility for this stuff, because people aren't. So if you're watching this, well done. and we commend you for trying to get on top of these things. Don't just leave it to the accountants and the finance people and the people in the towers and stuff. You can learn it too. Now, what to do with your money? Personal finances. Now, this isn't something that an accountant gets too far deep into, but I don't know why, because they've got some pretty strong opinions about it in their own lives. So we're going to have a little high-level look today and extend on some of these tactics that you've just learned. Now, how much does your household lifestyle require? As a business owner, as we start to earn a bit more, often we can get a bit of life creep and we start to live up to our new levels of income. And that's what happens, right? So as we earn more, we usually adjust our lifestyles to match the amount of money that's coming in. So if you can practice the discipline of living within your means, you can then do some smart things with your money, which we're going to talk about very quickly. I'm not here to give you investment advice, but that old saying about living within your means is so, so important for you for your entire life. It's something that often we forget as we start to earn a little bit more in business and we start to buy the jet skis and the new toys and the flash shirts and the flash suits and the flash car and all these types of things. So just be careful about how far you want to push your life creep with your money, and remember that you will adjust your life to the amount of money that you have, whether that's in your business or your personal life. Your business will always soak up the money somehow, and you'll do the same on the personal side of things. So perhaps think about building a rainy day fund for yourself in your personal life as well to recreate what we've already talked about, and avoid dumb debt and debt that's not actually going to bring you smart things into your life. And I'm sure you all know what we're talking about when we talk about dumb debt. Now, before we move on, I've touched on your staff at one stage. Are you thinking about your staff financial literacy? Because you'll notice at the moment that there's a big push towards looking after our staff health, whether that be physical and mental health. Well, I think in time, financial health is going to come too, because money is actually one of the biggest causes of stress for most people in New Zealand. And if your staff are coming to your environment stressed and worried about their money, there's a high chance that they're not putting 100% of their thinking and time into the work you're requiring them to do. So potentially you've got some productivity gaps there that can be bridged by giving them some financial literacy. So something you won't see spoken about too often out in the public because it's a bit too scary, but we're here breaking the back of it right now, and we're going to bring that up. So think about your staff financial literacy as well, not just your own, because they're going to bring stresses to work. We blend work and life and personal stuff so much now that you can't expect people just to switch off as soon as they walk in the door and forget about their $2,000 credit card that's overdue. Now, what are you going to do with your money? Let's introduce the personal account. So if we know back to our diagram, the money's into the business account. We've now got our GST and income tax account set up, and we've got our shit hits the fan account. We've got our business expenses. Now, from that business expenses, you're going to pay yourself some money. Now, that's our green circle, and that's going to go into your account, which is completely separate from your business, and then it's going to get put into different accounts. So you might need a home expenses account for your home budget, so covering all your expenses that come through, like your food and your Netflix and whatever it is that you're paying for. Now, you might start to set up some accounts that are going to look after you later on in your life. You might have a debt killer account or a real estate account that's actually there to help build a fund so that you can get into some real estate. You might even have a share market account that you put some money into that you then go and buy shares and you stack that for a 10, 20, 30-year window. You might have an education account for the kids. You might have your KiwiSaver and have an account set up for some retirement. You might even just have a fun account where you just put some money across and you can go and blow it on stupid stuff and buy 16 espresso martinis when you only need 3 of them, or who knows, whatever it is that you're into. We're not here to tell you what to do with your money, but these are some of the things that smart people are doing out there, and I'll show you how they do them with a big A word in a second. So might even need that emergency account, but you come up with what these things are. But the way that you do this is through automation. Now, don't leave it to chance. If you let the money come in and you don't set up automation to do this stuff in terms of automatic payments, then that money will get sucked up. We know that. We've learned about that. We know that our business will soak up the money that's there. We know our personal lives will soak up the money that's there. So as soon as that money comes in, let some automatic payments do the work for you. They're not just designed to solve the bank's problems and make sure that your bills are paid and stuff. Use them for your own good as well. Flick some off to a real estate account, into a share market account, into the education account. Have some pre-set up percentages that you get rid of straight away, and then you're left with your home expenses account. And that's not for me to tell you what you do over here where this arrow goes. Maybe we could do another webinar on that at some stage, but hopefully you understand some different ways to do some budgeting on the home front. But if you set these things up and you stay disciplined towards them, they can have huge, huge, huge benefits for you and your loved ones and your families and the people around you in decades to come. Of course, these things take time, and that's often why we don't set them up, but that is exactly how some of the most sophisticated people are managing their finances. So I've tried to keep that very, very simple for you that anyone watching this can implement. If there are questions, feel free to let us know, but you should be able to follow this, go back to the start and watch it again if you need to. You're probably sitting here thinking, how am I going to understand the amount of money that's coming through my business? And this is how we do it. We use a cash flow planning tool with our clients, and you can actually download this off our website as well if you want it. You should be tracking money that's coming in, money that's going out. If you want to start getting very granular, this one is set up week to week. Some people do it month to month, but business owners need to know the numbers. They need to know the cash flow, the cash flowing through their business, because people often say that cash is king. Well, that's an old saying. Cash is actually trash. We learned that up the top, that cash is becoming worth even less. Otherwise, we'd be getting more back from the bank if we had more, but we need more to get interest. So cash flowing through your business is actually the very important thing, because once that cash stops flowing through your business, you're in a big trouble. So these cash flow statements are designed that anybody can use them, not just an accountant or the finance guys or the people in the fancy suits. You want to be thinking about this as well, and it's going to show you when you're running out of money and when your peaks and your troughs in your cash flow are. Maybe you've just stumbled across this webinar and thinking, who are these dudes and what's going on here? Why am I even listening to this? Well, I thought I'd just include some slides here so you know that we're not just making this up, and you're listening to someone waffle on that doesn't have any credibility. So we included a couple of pieces of feedback from different clients that we work with, and you can look at those on Google just so that you get some comfort that you haven't fallen into some sort of scam or trap. And we work with business owners all over the country to help them improve their businesses, and that's what we love doing. And we love to see people getting more from business, because we know it can be hard out there. So get on there and have a look and see what people are up to. If not, Google Next Advisor in any of these, and you'll most likely find an article around us where we've helped out with different things that these organizations are doing as well. And if you want to book a time to have a chat, well, we can do that, and we'll get to how to do that in a second. And if you're the right person to be booking a chat, but we'd love to hear from the right types of people, because in business, there's two options. We can go at it alone, and I've tried that myself, and so have some of our clients, but we know it's slower, you make mistakes, it's expensive, it's painful, and you have to figure out everything for yourself. And that's why we partner so closely with our business owner clients, so that we can help them get places faster, make less mistakes. It's cheaper for them in the long run, and they have a lot of fun. So don't try and burden everything on your own in business and leverage off of your accountant at the moment, or people like ourselves with the teams that we have in behind us, the networks we have, and the lessons that we have. Now, if you want to go at it with us, then we can sort out a time to have a chat. But here's a couple of ways that we do things. We have a monthly fee for all of our clients, so there's no lump sum invoices, which people don't seem to like. We're transparent with our fees and quote everything up front. You deal directly with myself or Phil, and don't get palmed off to the juniors. We have a team in behind us to support some of the smaller queries in regards to Xero and things like that, but you do all of your dealings with Phil and I. We're speedy with our communication. We love doing tax planning throughout the year. I know it sounds gross, but it's important to keep up to date with what clients have in terms of tax. We don't like guessing. We don't like clients paying too little a tax based on the year before. We like to do it based on the current year. So we want you to know what to pay and when to pay it. We've got ways that are proven and been tested to be able to help you grow and improve your business. We do 12-month business planning with clients. We do 90-minute sprint, or not 90 minutes, 90-day business planning which is a lot shorter time period, obviously, but for those clients that are looking to get quick results, we offer accountability and planning, realignment, introductions to people who can help you achieve your success faster. We need to understand what that is first. We have monthly calls with our clients to see what everyone's up to, and those are done as a group and on the last Tuesday of the month, and people they're voluntary, so you can jump on those if you want to meet other clients and hear some of their stories and learn from them as well. So like I said at the start, our purpose is to provide life-changing advice for aspirational business owners. So if this is you and you want to book a time to have a chat, then we can do that. We can look at your current situation. We can provide ways to improve your business, and we can see if our methodology will work for you. We don't work with everybody, so there is a call that we need to go through to figure out if we're going to be the best people to help you improve your business, because it is a personable relationship over a long amount of time, so we have to get on. So this is for established businesses with at least 2 years experience in the market, no side hustles or startups, sorry. We've got a expectation that you'll have a proven product or service that adds value to the marketplace, and you want a relationship with your accountant and want to have a better business and invest in yourself. So those are usually people that take action. So if that is you, then feel free to book a time to have a chat, and we would love to find out more about you, your business, and how you're getting on. Hopefully that has been helpful to help you understand how to manage the cash in your business and even in your personal life. Again, we've kept it very, very simple for you. Trust us, if you implement some of these things, they will make a huge difference over a long period of time. Look after yourselves out there and go well. Sing out if you need anything.